Hello everybody and welcome back to another video and Happy New Year to you all. It's now 2025 officially, and I thought I'd do this flight with Easyjet from here in Amsterdam Schiphol Airport to London Stansted Airport. Now my reasons for this are: one, we've got a bit of a storm in this area at the moment, so it makes things a little bit more interesting, but two, Amsterdam is one of the first detailed airports that is available, or that was available, on the Microsoft Flight Sim. I don't know why the dispatcher's there. Oh, there he is. So that's why I've decided that we're going to be doing this flight from a very short flight. Should be about 35 to 40 minutes from here in Amsterdam Schiphol Airport all the way to London Stansted. And London Stansted is one of the last ones available for 2020 with the latest world update, the United Kingdom and Ireland. So it's only fitting that we go to one of the first ones that was available. On the Premium Deluxe Edition, this was available, and also the one of the latest detailed airports that is available. And one of the things I do like is that we have a digital, I don't know what you call it, I don't know what they actually call that, but you can see there we're on Hotel 2. Gate Hotel 2 at EHAM, which is the code for Amsterdam, and it's actually a very, very detailed but not heavily detailed airport. You can see there's some vehicles moving around there. Yeah, overall it's good, and the airport has dated actually very, very well, considering that this is from 2020. So yeah, okay. I forgot to put a custom GSX profile for this airport, so everybody's going to be coming from the bus instead of from the terminal. Anyway, I'm going to finish up preparing our flight. I'm going to put this into the inside mode. We're going to go into the cockpit, and we're going to start preparing our flight. I'll leave the door open. I can see my flight attendant, which looks a bit polygon-y today. Ah, there she is. She's popped back into place. Very good. Anyway, so today's flight, we are carrying 123 passengers and 1.6 tons of cargo, with 3.7 and a bit tons of fuel, which will take us all the way to Stansted. We should have an estimated burn of approximately, let's have a look, 1.5 tons. So yeah, it's a pretty straightforward flight. As always with any builds, and I think I've shown you this before, I cannot get any of the sim brief stuff to automatically come up on here. So the op here, the operational flight plan, for some reason doesn't work. So we're going to do it like this instead. We're going to do it using the pop-up from SimBrief, and yeah, so we'll just fit in the values as we are. So I've put the flight plan in here, EHAM to EGES, I guess if that's how you want to say it. So EHAM is Amsterdam, and our destination is Stansted, Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. Flight number today is Echo Golf Uniform 59 Alpha Whiskey. That's our call sign. Flight number is, let me just get it up on my phone. Flight number is Uniform 2 7839. Init page, well, we probably shouldn't do this until we're fully loaded. So let's go to flight plan page. We'll do our departure. We are expecting departure on runway 18 left, which is there. And our SID is here, Volk 5 Echo. So we're going right to the bottom there, Volk 5 Echo. And we've got no transitions today, so let's insert. And then after the... So we're going ImGrid, and then we're going onto the airways. So let's insert airways, going on to Mike 40 or Mike 40, Mike 40, and we'll be flying to Renus. So that's Romeo India, Romeo India, November India, and Sierra. Renus, insert. And then we're expecting to arrive on 22 because the winds are coming up from the south. So we'll go to on ILS for 22 today. And we are on the Rini 1 Alpha arrival. Really need 1 alpha, and we'll insert. Now it says here that we've got a mismatch of the airways / waypoint, so we're just going to have a quick check on the flight plan page just to make sure that we are flying well. This is what I had last time I actually conducted this flight. I had this issue where it put this here. Now I don't know why that's there. Let me remove it. It's very annoying that it's there. Now the other thing we could do, we could just do radar vectors in after Renus instead, and we can just completely disregard these waypoints down here. But let's go have a look outside just to see where we're at for our boarding procedure. It's very windy, as you can hear, and the passengers are boarding beautifully. We'll jump back into the cockpit. Let's not... Oh, I'm really not good at doing the cameras, so I do apologize. Should we try to get rid of these then? Because we've got... Is that 06 on there? We'll try to delete them. Let's see what happens. 04? And there's like a 66 by the looks of it. Is that all gone now? Let's get rid of that 75 as well. And then this random one as well. And then we'll just do radar vectors from Renus, I think. Or we can get rid of this discontinuity here. And then we can do sort of radar vectoring from there. Which is probably what the air traffic control would do us anyway. Okay, so now that's done, we will check in on Schiphol Airport's ATIS so we can get our clearance sorted.
Wind 198 at 28. Visibility 6. Sky condition, ceiling 700 feet overcast. Temperature 11. Dew point 10. QNH 28.76. ILS runway 18 center and ILS runway 18 right in use. Landing and departing runway 18 center, runway 18 left, and runway 18 right. All aircraft read back, hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact, you have Quebec.
Okay, we've got information Quebec. Okay, why are we not... Okay, let's... we'll press the call.
Schiphol clearance delivery Alpine 5 9er Alpha Whiskey IFR to Stansted, ready to copy.
Bleed on.
Alpine 5 9er Alpha Whiskey is cleared to Stansted Airport as filed.
Ground power.
Takeoff runway 18 left climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure frequency is 119.175 squawk 576
57.
Schiphol clearance delivery KLM 69er Echo ready to copy IFR clearance to Racine.
3.
KLM
It's in the
69er
box.
Echo is cleared to Racine Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 18 center climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure frequency is 126.68 squawk 1213.
Alpine 5 9er Alpha Whiskey cleared to Stansted Airport is filed. Takeoff runway 18 left climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure on 119.175 squawk 5763.
Alpine 5 9er Alpha Whiskey readback correct. Contact ground on 121.805. Good day. KLM 69er Echo cleared to Racine Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 18 center climb and maintain 5,000 feet.
805. Okie dokie, so that's our clearance sorted. Do config 1, we'll do air condition on. Do we put the anti-ice on for our takeoff? Because we've got very low clouds, static temperatures at 10 degrees. I think we might be able to get away with putting it off for now. Force toga no, air condition still on. And our weight for takeoff Estimated takeoff weight is 58.0. 58.0. And then we'll sync all the conditions here. We have wet runway, so we'll sync again. And then we'll calculate. So we have flex at 53. Yeah, flex at 53. Our V1 speed is 132. Our rotate speed, VR 144. Our V2 engine out speed 146. And we have up 0.5. Send that to the FMGS. Let me just double check that it's all in. Nope, it's not there. Ah, speeds are there, out of range. Okay. It should naturally just put on in there. Anyway, so flaps 1, and then we go up 0.5. Flex at 53 degrees. We're pretty much at sea level, so that kind of makes sense. Okay, so we'll just do it manually then. 132, 144, and 146. And I think we've got everybody on board now. So let's go back to the init page, page 2. We set this 3.7 on the block. And I think we're pretty much there. Okie dokie. So bleed is on. We've disconnected the external power. Let's get that external power unit taken away now. And then we'll get GSX to dispatch us right now. We'll close the door. We're fully loaded up. And we'll close... Yeah, we'll call on GSX because it will automatically close the doors anyway. So we prepare for pushback and departure. So if we jump on outside, they should close the doors by themselves and get rid of the stairs for us. And then we'll do pushback to... Actually, we'll do what they call standard pushback. Let's see what the standard pushback here is. So we can release the parking brakes. Set the beacon on. Commence pushing back now. Beacon is flashing, as you can see here. And pushback is started. That means we can start engines at will. What we'll do is we'll go 2 and then 1. We've got a pretty short taxi, especially for a big airport here. So we'll go start engine 2. I'll get that dome light a bit dim because it's a bit too bright for me. Actually, we'll get a little floodlight in there. I mean, I love the texturing out here. Like I say, this is a now what we're looking at 4 or 5 year old airport. Oh, that's cool. Hang on a minute, that's new. This is new. Wing walkers. I haven't seen wing walkers with GSX, so that's awesome. That's now available in 2025. Brilliant. Oh, I absolutely love that. More detail. I love it. Right, I need to get myself back into the cockpit somehow. There we go. I made it back into the cockpit. There we go. Set parking brake. Already in position. That was quite easy. And it looks like our engine, is it stabilized yet? Yep, stabilized. So we'll confirm to GSX that we have a good engine start. Confirm good start. And then what we'll do a taxi over to runway 18 right, 18 left, sorry, for our departure. Fuel plan, and then we'll do start engine number 1 while GSX is figuring out our pushback.
Taxiing to gate Charlie 8 using taxiway Whiskey 7 Bravo Alpha 22 Alpha Alpha 12 Bravo Alpha 4 Alpha 4 Echo Sun Express 944.
It's a bit of a strange position, actually, that. Where it's left us, but that's okay. We'll set the that one there. Constraints on. Engine is starting up quite beautifully, so we're going to request for our taxi clearance.
Schiphol ground Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey with Quebec ready to taxi IFR.
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey taxi to and hold short of runway 18 left via taxiway Alpha 19er Echo Alpha Alpha 1 Tree Bravo November 2 cross runway 27 Echo 6. Contact tower on 119er decimal 2 tree when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 18 left using taxiway Alpha 19er Echo Alpha Alpha 1 Tree Bravo November 2 cross runway 27 Echo 6 Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
Alright, so we've got our clearance for our taxi. Just going to get my chart up for the ground because it's quite a complex airport. So what did you say? Alpha 19, Alpha, yeah, Alpha 13, Bravo. Let's go to November 2, yep, cross runway 27, and that will take us to the end of runway 18 left. Perfect. I've got my chart, and I know where I'm going. So it looks like GSX has now come off to the side. We'll set our taxi lights on now. We'll turn off the APU now that our engines have started beautifully. We'll set this start mode to norm. We'll set our flaps to 1. We'll put our TCAS on because there's a lot of airports that use TCAS nowadays on the ground. So we'll set TCAS on, we'll arm the spoilers, and then I think, the trim and flight control check. Trim, we're going up 0.5, and then flight control checks, full up, full down, and neutral, full right, full left, full right, and neutral, rudder left, and rudder right, and neutral. Perfect. We'll put the predictive wind shear on as well, and then we'll do, we got a little bit of rain coming in now, so that's fine. And then we'll do that. And we'll start our taxi now. Just double check that there's nothing in our way. Release the parking brakes. And let's taxi. Brake check. Brakes are good. Takeoff config. Normal, no blue. Some lovely A350s sitting on this. I think this is the... Is this the Foxtrot gates? Because we were on hotel. I think this is Foxtrot over here. Like I say, the details on this airport are actually really nice, considering this is coming up to 5 years old, I guess, towards the end of this year, because this was available at launch, and it's actually a very nice looking airport. It's one of our colleagues, Neo's, going up to Alpha. Just have to be careful with our taxi now. Is this Alpha here? Yeah, this is Alpha, because that's Bravo where that Easyjet was on. So we'll just turn on to Alpha. And as always, I've got the fly-by-wire traffic on. That's what I've got here, these aircraft that you see parked up on the sides. And as always, they're very, very lovely detailed, and they make for a more realistic experience. For example, Air China over here, 777-300. KLM over there, of course, this is the home of KLM. Kenya Airways, United Airlines. It's always nice to see different airlines and also not to see dead airports, because it's kind of shame when you taxi around an airport with no aircraft sitting around. So we need to go up to taxiway Alpha 13. So we got a bit of a taxi up this way. And then once we take off on runway 18 left, departure towards the south. We've got quite strong winds, low clouds, so this is going to be a very interesting flight. Heavy workload for the pilots as always, especially on short turnovers. So yeah, this is going to be fun. There's a plane either taking off or landing, I can't actually tell. But yeah, like I say, the having this traffic mod in here really does enhance your flying experience and realism. So this is Alpha 14, so we're going to coming up to Alpha 13 after this bit. And there's a beautiful cafe A350 there. And I've flown on cafes A350s and they're fantastic, both the 900 and the 1000 series. And I've been lucky enough as well, because the first time I flew with the cafes A350 was 900. Was the 900s from to and from Gatwick Airport to Hong Kong, and then subsequently on the same routing when I went up to the Philippines from Hong Kong to Manila, we were in an A350-1000 on one of our flights. And I'm looking forward to Build's A350 when it releases soon. It should be this first quarter of the year. I do plan to get it, you know, especially it's going to be available for 2020 as well as 2024. Now, am I disappointed that I'm not on 2024? At the moment, not really. And I've said this on a previous video as well. Now, this is Alpha 13 now, so we're going to turn onto Alpha 13 and make our way towards Taxiway November, which is that one to the right side. It's actually November 2, I believe, this one, and it leads us on to Taxiway November. We'll cross runway, is it 27 here? Which is, we've been given permission to cross, so that's okay. But we always have to check when we enter runways anyway, because obviously planes taking off and landing can't exactly stop on a dime compared to when they're just taxiing on the ground. So we're approaching 0927. Doesn't look like there's anybody there. Oh, we've got a bit of a dip in the taxiway. Just check over our shoulder. Doesn't look like there's anybody there, so we're going to taxi across this way to the left, and that will bring us nicely to the end of the runway. I'm going to switch over to tower, and we're now here. This is quite a nice short taxi. The last time I was here in Schiphol Airport, we ended up at there's a runway, I can't remember. I know that this end would be 18, so it'd be 18. Right, it's so far away from the terminal. It's like you're having a tour of the Netherlands, you know. Alright, there's a hold point here. I'm just approaching the hold point at the end of Taxiway November. Just close that for a second. Stop just here, just prior to the hold point. There you go. Set the parking brake, and then we'll contact for clearance.
St. Paul Tower Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey ready for departure. Runway 18 left IFR to Stansted.
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey QNH 28.82 wind 218 at tree 6. Cleared for takeoff runway 18 left.
Okay, all lights are on.
Takeoff runway 18 left Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
And we've already got the TCAS set. You can see the strobes flashing quite nicely there. Leaving the packs on. No anti-ice, although we might need it on the way through the clouds, especially the temperature's just dropped. Check the approaching. There's nobody looks like approaching, so we're okay. Then we come down to here. We'll just turn the aircraft. Get it centered. As per usual for me, I'll set the clocks. Let's get the chronography clocks on. Manflex SRS, nav blue. Knots. P1. Rotate. Positive climb. Gears coming up.
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey contact Amsterdam Center on 119er decimal 175.
Autopilot's coming on.
Good day.
Gears up. Lights out.
Going to 119er decimal 175 Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey. Amsterdam Center Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey is at 1,500 feet, climbing 5,000 feet.
Easy-305, 2 climb and maintain flight level 220. Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey Amsterdam Center QNH 28.82 radar contact. Continue to AM 029. Ocean 68 Heavy, you are 300 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 340. Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey, keep speed not above 220 knots. Transavia 6874 contact Schiphol approach on 131.155. Good day. City 1664, you are 38 miles east. Climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 18 center approach via RDIF transition. Clear to RDIF.
Keep speed not above 220 knots Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
You may have noticed on that rollout on the runway, the aircraft really wanted to take off. 15.
Climb and maintain 15,000 feet Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
Still says, why is text? Yeah. What did I do? TARA. It's on. We want all of them. Why? There you go. TCAS is no longer on standby. Apparently, that was weird. Anyway, you probably saw on the rollout on the runway that the aircraft really wanted to fly. And then as we took off, we rotated, and the ground speed was very, very low in comparison to our airspeed. Now we've got some pretty strong headwinds across the North Sea. Clouds are clouds, as you can see. Now we've got a fantastic view over here of Schiphol Airport. But I don't know how much of that we'll be able to see, especially with the amount of clouds that we have today. So we're above 10,000 feet. Let's get the landing lights off. The seatbelt sign has automatically come off. That's fine by me, because we're not doing too bad. Climbing quite nicely as well. And you can see Schiphol Airport here. This is the runway. Hang on a second. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, this is the runway we just took off from. We were parked up over here on the H gates. And then, there's the other runway just here. Look how far away that is. There's a runway just here where my mouse cursor is, and one time, as I said, the last time I was here, the plane taxied. I can't remember which side we were on, but it ended up taxiing all the way over there. It took longer than the flight because the flight was only going to Gatwick, and yeah, it's an experience if you ever get an opportunity to fly in and out of Amsterdam. So we're climbing away quite nicely. You may have noticed as well, my call sign is Alpine instead of Easy, and the reason for that is because this is part of this flight is operated on using Easyjet's Europe division. I think we're above the speed restrictions now, although it'll probably be after this. Still holding 220 knots. There's no constraints here, so we should be okay. We're climbing out really nicely, and we have to start preparing already for our descent and approach into Stansted Airport.
Alpine 797-9er climb and maintain flight level 260. Climb and maintain flight level 260, Alpine 797-9er. Climb and maintain flight level 340, Alpine 797-9er. Ryanair 69er tree, you are 300 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 370. Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey climb and maintain flight level 240. Climb and maintain flight level 370, Ryanair 69er tree.
Climb and maintain flight level 240 Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
Ocean 68 heavy traffic is 10 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 330 Boeing. Report them in sight. Ryanair 1788 traffic is 9 o'clock 3 miles at flight level 335 Airbus. Report them in sight. Lot 264 climb and maintain 2,400 feet.
So we just reached our cruising altitude. We'll be descending very, very shortly, actually. So we're just going to start prepping for our arrival. Let's have a look. QNH today. We'll just refresh. 983. 983. Temperature on the ground.
Climb and maintain 2,400 feet. Lot 264.
Let's have a
Ryanair
look.
2335 climb and maintain 2,100 feet.
So we've got winds at 270, 11 knots, gusting 23 knots. Ooh. Temperature on the ground is cold, it's, 4 degrees. So 04. Our winds are 270 at 11 knots, gusting 2-3. What did I say? 240,
Delta 9er 8905, heavy climb. and
270,
maintain flight
11
level
knots.
200.
270 at 11 knots.
Climb and maintain 2,100 feet, Ryanair 2335.
And we'll do config 3 for landing.
And maintain 12,000 feet.
And we'll do decision altitude. I don't actually have proper charts for this, so I'm not too sure where we're at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 300 radio for our decision altitude. For our decision. Anyway, we are very close, in fact. Just flying over the North Sea now. 10 minutes after departure, and we should be on the ground very shortly. And at least another 30 minutes perhaps. Estimated time 13:37 UTC. So yeah, another 30 minutes, give or take. Temperature outside, well, it's normal for this sort of altitude. We'll have a look outside. The aircraft is lovely as always. You can see the coastline of the Netherlands just there. And the British coastline is nowhere to be seen as we fly over the North Sea. You can see our wind here. It's very, very strong. 219 at 64 knots, right onto us. So that gives us sort of quite a differential between our indicated airspeed here and our ground speed over here. Hence why you can see here true airspeed, TAS, is 392 knots, where our ground speed is 336. Our fuel, I don't know why the ADIRS, we'll put that back to normal. I don't know why that was switched over, but that's okay. The fuel is pumping from the outer tanks now, and we're down to 2.6 tons fuel on board. So that means we have burnt already. Let me just check what we loaded with. So we loaded with 3,722 kilos. 3,722. So we've done already more than a ton of fuel burnt just in the takeoff alone and the climb out. It's quite a lot of fuel burn really, but we've been dealing with these very strong headwinds, so you know, I guess it is what it is. Should we put that in the actual climb detent?
Delta 75 heavy climb and maintain flight level 360. Delta 9er 8905 heavy traffic is 12 o'clock 1 mile at flight level 225 Airbus A320neo. Report them in sight. Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey traffic is
there you go, I knew that was going to call.
at flight level 190 Airbus. Report them in sight.
Well, can't see any lights.
Heavy climb and maintain flight level 260.
What type of aircraft was it? It just says Airbus, probably a 330. If it's a Delta.
Climb and maintain flight level 260 Delta 9er 8905 heavy.
Look at these clouds, just a blanket of clouds over the North Sea.
Delta 9er 8905 heavy have the Airbus A320neo in sight. Condor 2184 heavy, you are 300 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 340. Climb and maintain flight level 340 Condor 2184 heavy. for 75 Delta 75 Heavy. Goodbye. Amsterdam Center Ryanair 6337 is passing flight level 370, climbing flight level 380. Delta 9er 8905 heavy climb and maintain flight level 340. Ryanair 6337 Amsterdam Center radar contact continue. Boeing Uniform Mike Foxtrot, you are 300 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 410. Ryanair 6337 traffic is 6 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 335 Airbus. Report them in sight. Tomjet 450, you are 300 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 350. Climb and maintain flight level 340 Delta 9er 8905 Heavy. Condor 2184 heavy traffic is 2 o'clock 3 miles at flight level 345 Boeing. Report them in sight. Condor 2184 heavy have the traffic. Cisco 5402 has the Boeing in sight. Going to 118.475 Ryanair 6337. Alpine 4053 contact London Center on 118.475. Good day. Delta 9er 8905 heavy climb and maintain flight level 350. Going to 118.475 Alpine 4053. Condor 218 for heavy contact London Center on 118.475. Good day. Climb and maintain flight level 350 Delta 9er 8905 heavy. 118.475 Condor 2184 heavy. Goodbye.
Oh, we're right on top of our top of descent now. But I want to get us down. I don't know if ATC is going to give us clearance to go down. But I want to get down because I've made some adjustments, haven't I? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set our altitude down to 18. Oh, we're being asked to contact London Centre. But I've started descending. That's kind of funny.
118.475
There we go.
Alpine
So we're going to switch
59
over to
Alpha
London
Whiskey.
Centre. They're probably going to tell us to descend anyway. We've got our VNAV
London Center
profile
Alpine
coming
59
into
Alpha Whiskey is
into
at flight
play
level
as well.
230, climbing flight level 240.
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey London Center radar contact continue. Blue Max Tree 04 contact Brussels Center on 125.0. Good day. London Center Delta 9er 89er 5 Heavy is passing.
It's probably going to
flight
start
level
shouting at me
260,
for
descending
descending.
flight level 350. Delta 9er 89er 5 Heavy London Center radar contact continue to Bata.
London Center Alpine 59er Alpha
I'm
Whiskey
gonna do,
requests destination
because
change
I
to
think
Stansted.
if I did this,
59er Alpha Whiskey is cleared to Stansted Airport as filed. Squawk 576.
this should be the one that's I adjusted. So
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey cleared to
I'm
Stansted
hoping that they're going
Airport
to
is
just
filed.
let us descend down.
Squawk 5763.
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey read back correct.
Yeah,
Radar
there we go.
contact flight level
We've got it.
210. Continue to AM 029 turning and following heading 085 descend and maintain flight level 18.
Brilliant.
Keep speed not above 220 knots.
Continue to AM 029 turning and following heading 085 descend and maintain flight level
We'll get the
180.
airspeed
Keep
down
speed
as
not
well.
above 220 knots.
220.
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
Oops, 220 in the box. There we go.
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey climb and maintain flight level 220.
Climb and maintain flight level 220 Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
Okay.
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey
Oh, there you go.
descend and maintain
You
flight
got some
level
sense in you,
180.
controller.
London Center was go
Ah,
flight
crap.
402 is at flight level 235 descending flight level 230. Was go 5402 London Center radar contact. Continue to wicket.
Descend and maintain flight level 180 Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
Hopefully this is going to help us get direct in, you know? With the way that I set it up. Because this is one thing I found interesting about Flight Sim with using their in-game ATC. You can sort of do that where... But it's not available on all aircraft if you change the flight plan based on what you've given them. Sometimes they give you the option in this menu to sort of ask them for that, you know. I'm trying it just to see if it will vector me in pretty nicely into Stansted. Need to increase our descent more. Because we should be at 18 now. It's quite a steep descent actually. So let's bring it back up to 1.5. I know what the aircraft is trying to do. It's trying to hold the speed. Just going to bring the speed brake out. You can see the speed brake coming out there.
Speedbird 977 traffic is 9 o'clock 3 miles at flight level 225 Airbus. Report them in sight.
Okay, there's 18.
Lion Air 11 tree 6UR 20 miles east. Climb and maintain 5,400 feet. Expect vectors. Visual runway 22 approach. Cessna Sierra Charlie Victor UR 20 miles east. 5,400 feet. Expect vectors. Visual runway 22 approach.
So we got some aircraft in front of us.
Ryanair 1731, you are 21 miles. Climb and maintain 5,600 feet. Expect vectors. Visual runway 22 approach. Diamond Papa Alpha India, you are 35 miles southeast. Climb and maintain 9,700 feet. Keep speed not above 185 knots. Expect ILS runway 23 approach via Charlie Alpha Mike transition. Cleared to Charlie Alpha Mike.
Okay, so we've got, it looks like a Cessna. I don't know what Belfort is. What? Who uses Belfort as a call sign?
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey, you are 900 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 180.
We're at 180.
Not above 250 knots QNH to 9er decimal 00. Speedbird 9er 77 have the traffic.
Climb and maintain flight level 180. Keep speed not above 250 knots. Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
What was the QNH he gave me? 2900. All right. So hopefully, fingers crossed, what I've done in the flight plan should be working. Now we're just approaching the UK mainland. You can just see some land over there. Looks like we've got a Ryanair ahead of us. 12,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 12,000 feet. Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
So it looks like we've got a there's a Ryanair in front of us and a Cessna, probably a Citation, which is not surprising really. Let's get the seatbelt signs on.
Ryanair 177, you are 61 miles east. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 22 approach.
And we're just flying over UK mainland, probably around sort of the Ipswich area, perhaps. Suffolk coastline, I'm not too sure. Actually, I'll open up the map from... Oh, we're not actually over the land yet. We're still off the coast.
Expect vectors. Visual runway 22 approach. Ryanair 177.
Still got a fair amount of distance to cover as well. And we've been given a speed restriction.
Beaufort 731 traffic is 2 o'clock 4 miles at 4,500 feet. Cessna C-25C. Report them in sight.
Ah, B for call sign is for louder. Ah, I didn't know that one. So that's interesting to know. So it looks like we've got a louder motion or louder air, Ryanair, and a Cessna Citation that's ahead of us at the moment for the arrival.
Ryanair 177 climb and maintain flight level 240. Ryanair 1731 traffic is 4 o'clock 4 miles at 4,500 feet Boeing. Report them in sight. Climb and maintain flight level 240 Ryanair 177. Ryanair 177 climb and maintain flight level 180. Ryanair 1731 have the Boeing in sight. Climb and maintain flight level 180 Ryanair 177. Ryanair 177 descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Ryanair 1136 traffic is 8 o'clock 4 miles at 5,900 feet Airbus. Report them in sight.
Coming up to the top of the clouds now.
731 traffic is 1 o'clock 4 miles at 5,400 feet
Get those speed brakes back in. Making a left turn now at the top of the clouds.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet, Ryanair 177. Ryanair 177 descend and maintain 2,300 feet. Beaufort 7 Tree 1 have the Boeing in sight. Descend and maintain 2,300 feet, Ryanair 177. Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots.
Descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey.
Okay, let's get the speed brake out again. Just let the aircraft slow down. Using the speed brake a lot on this descent, actually. I'm going to check GSX if I can set up for our arrival.
Diamond Papa Alpha India contact. Cambridge approach on 120.965. Good day.
Now we're still not in range. Let's get the speed brake back in again.
Going to 120.965 Diamond Papa Alpha India.
I think that Diamond aircraft is actually flying into Cambridge, perhaps. The British countryside, as we normally see, with loads of clouds above it. We've hit our speed target at 220. We're at 8,000 feet, or approaching 10,000 feet. I'm hoping. Let's have a look. So that's approximately 15 miles, 8,000 feet, 15 miles down. We might be able to make it. Let's get the lights on now that we're approaching 10,000 feet. And we're hitting the top of the clouds, as you can see. It's a nice steady descent. In fact, what I might do is we'll do vertical speed.
Alpha Whiskey, please expedite your descent.
Yeah, you don't like that, do you? I got it, mate. I got it.
Ryanair 17 Tree 1 traffic alert. 8 o'clock, less than 1 mile, 5,900 feet Airbus. Report them in sight. Wizz Air 130 Tree, you are 27 miles northeast. Climb and maintain flight level 220. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Expect ILS runway 25 approach via Zagzo transition. Cleared to Zagzo. Speedbird 4 Tree 1, you are tree 8 miles east. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 27 right approach via Lima Alpha Mike transition. Cleared to Lima Alpha Mike. Ryanair Tree 407, you are 27 miles north. Descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Expect ILS runway 25 approach via Zagzo transition. Cleared to Zagzo. Ryanair 2729er, you are 59 miles east. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors visual runway 22 approach. Wizz Air 130 tree descend and maintain 12,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Beaufort 7 Tree 1 traffic alert. 2 o'clock, less than 1 mile, 5,600 feet Boeing. Report them in sight. Beaufort 7 Tree 1 have the Boeing in sight. Ryanair 17 Tree 1 traffic in sight. 7-tree, 1 traffic alert. For a clock less than 1 mile.
I'm going to go slightly against the controller so that we can match the ILS, because we just actually went a little bit above it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to activate approach mode.
Ryanair 11 tree 6 have the traffic.
Because we're at 17 miles from the ILS. So hopefully, doing this,
Beaufort 7 tree
I know
1 have the
the
traffic.
controller's probably going to shout at me, but
Alpine 5, 9er Alpha Whiskey, you are 18 miles north.
there we go.
Maintain present heading and altitude.
And then the ILS is coming back up.
To
We'll
approach.
arm the localizer. Thank you.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect
Get the
vectors
speed
visual
brakes out
runway
again,
22 approach
just to let the
Alpine
speed
5,
bleed
9er
off.
Alpha Whiskey.
And that we can increase our descent slightly as well. So I've armed the localizer, because we'll intercept the localizer in a moment.
Ryanair 3407.
And we'll set up for, I think it's number 31. And we'll do Stobart services. So we're 13 miles. Bring the altitude down again.
Speedbird 4 tree 1 climb and maintain 7,000 feet.
Let's get flaps to 1.
Ryanair 177 airport is tree 5 miles at your 10 o'clock.
And we're going to arm the
Maintain present heading
approach.
and altitude report runway in sight. Alpine 5 9er Alpha Whiskey, you are 3,100 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain 8,000 feet QNH to 9er decimal 04.
I'm going to disregard all of that. Thank you.
Bird 9er 77, you are tree 9er miles east. Climb and maintain flight level 280. Expect ILS runway 27 right approach via Lima Alpha Mike transition. Cleared to Lima Alpha Mike. Sun Express 9er 41 climb and maintain 6,000 feet. Speedbird 4 tree 8 climb and maintain flight level tree 10. Ryanair 17 tree 1 descend and maintain 2,300 feet.
I'm going to disregard what the air traffic controller told us. Alright, speed brakes out.
Climb and maintain 8,000 feet Alpine 5, 9er Alpha Whiskey.
I'm going to disregard. Flaps are coming to 2. We're 9 miles away. We'll set for landing config 3. Got a long enough runway anyway. Especially with our gross weight, which is only 56.4 tons. The glide slope is coming in now. No, we're still slightly above the glide slope. I'm hoping we can just capture into the glide slope.
Sun Express 9er 41 climb
And then the localizer should come alive in just a moment as well. So the glide slope has gone through. Got the localizer as well. We are 7.1 miles. Just cancel my IFR if you like. I don't mind. Okay. We're 2,000 feet above the ground. Gears are coming down. Let's check the cabin. We're config 3 for landing. Flight attendants are ready. Okay, I'm just going to cancel the IFR.
London Center Alpine 5 9er Alpha Whiskey
Flaps
would like
to
to
3.
cancel IFR.
Alpine 5 9er Alpha Whiskey IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated.
Runway's in sight.
7000. Maintain VFR.
We got such a strong wind as well. Look at this. I'm looking that way.
Speedbird 431 keeps speed, not above 180 knots.
And the aircraft is facing that way. You can see the angle there. Got strong 33 knot wind. So this is going to be a very interesting arrival.
Speedbird Niner
Come on, switch me over to Stansted.
7,000 feet. Ryanair 1731, you are 600 feet below your assigned altitude.
We're fully configured now for landing.
2,300 feet QNH.
Come on.
2.06.
Get Stansted. Oh my lord, too much communication here.
3,000 feet.
1,000.
Request full stop.
Tower Alpine 5 Niner Alpha Whiskey 4 miles northeast, 1,400 feet to land.
Alpine 59er Alpha Whiskey Tower Airport is currently IFR.
Oh,
Request
yeah.
denied.
That's what we forgot to do. Disable the, there we go, enable, disable. Disable,
Tower Ryanair
ignore.
173-111 miles northeast inbound visual
Okay.
runway 22 approach.
So we're disregarding ATCs now.
Contact London Center on
And
118.47
let's disconnect the autopilot.
Good day.
Autopilot's disconnected. We're being hit
Ryanair 173
pretty severely by the wind.
QNH 29.06.
Nothing I can't handle though.
270 at 1 tree.
Just use a bit of rudder as well.
22 approach.
300.
Continue. We got runway in sight and the aircraft's not too bad.
175 with go 804. Goodbye.
Oh gosh, this wind.
200.
Cleared visual runway 22 approach Ryanair 1731.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Oh, hard landing. Okie dokie. There you go. And we're just going to come off here. Well, there we go. Well done.
Ryanair 1731. Follow the Airbus A320neo on
That
the
was
runway.
quite a hard landing,
1270 at 1 tree.
but I managed to keep it in
Clear to
control.
land runway 22.
There we go. We're just going to flaps up, just bleed the speed
Clear
off
to
in this
land runway
taxiway.
22, Ryanair
Switch over to
1731.
ground. I've already got a parking position, so that's okay. Let's get the APU started. Strobes can come off. That can come off. Bring that in. Beautiful. What a landing, huh? Whew. That was quite difficult. So we're going to taxi now to the ramp. We're on position 3-1. So we're going to go this way. And then position 3-1. Oh, okay. So that took us about 41 minutes on the flight time. Let's get those off. That wasn't too bad actually. Just the ATC issues that we were facing. Let's get these FD and LS off, and on the opposite side as well. We'll get that config on. The bleed can come on now as well for the, so we can run the air conditioning. We're just passing the cargo hub here on the right hand side, and for some reason the Emirates 777 passenger aircraft is in the cargo area, but you know, that's just the quirks of some of the quirks of the traffic in, what do you call it, traffic injector. There's a Ryanair 73 just landed. It's weird because, you know, we got told that this is they're only doing IFR, but they're giving these aircraft visual arrivals, so it's kind of strange that, but that's by the by, as they say. FedEx 777 there. I mean, cargo can use that side. I have seen cargo aircraft in that bit before, so that's not a big deal, isn't it? And then I believe we're turning at the next right hand, and we're going to be parking at 3-1. And as I said, this airport is one of the latest in Flight Simulator's detailed airports. And it's really, really nice to see, actually. I mean, it's an airport I'm very, very familiar with. I've flown in and out of Stansted a number of times over the years. Especially recently, I've done a few Ryanair flights from here. So, you know, I am extremely used to this airport. Let's get our taxi lights off as we approach the gate.
Ryanair 76 Victor Juliet requesting pushback. Ryanair 76 Victor Juliet pushback request accepted.
So this side is often used by Easyjet. Easyjet only have a handful of flights here. Most of them are domestic, apart from this one to Amsterdam. And they use this side because they can do the domestic arrivals here. There's the marshaller at gate 3-1. Oh, we just overshot it slightly. Parking brake is on. And the engines are off. Yeah, slightly askew. Request deboarding. And we'll get the beacon light off. Oh, and we are really askew there. Anyway, that, as I said, was quite a fun flight with the winds. And I thank you for joining me again. I'm actually going to show you very quickly some of the details of this airport, so that, you know, you can see what I mean by this is one of the latest airports now available free with Flight Simulator. There is a interior, as you can see, there are seats. However, you can't go inside. The main terminal over here also has an interior, but you can't go inside. But for what it's worth, which is free, it's really, really nice. You look at the texturing here as well, like different types of ground texturing here. But anyway, that has been our flight from Amsterdam to Stansted today, and I hope you enjoyed that in this beautiful storm. I say beautiful storm, it's quite an interesting storm. And I'll let you watch the cargo loader bring out the containers, which, hint hint, Easyjet don't normally use containers. Anyway, thank you for joining me again for another Flight Simulator video, and I hope to see you soon on another one. Bye bye.